be a morning stream because I just got up within the last 20 minutes or so. I came out here on the deck and sit down. I mean, I've not completely got the sleep out of my eyes. And Leticia went live and wanted to talk about my teeth and had these theories about how I've not done certain things. Well, I've not done certain things because I just rolled out of bed. Why? Because I can. And then I walked out here on the deck, and you can see this beautiful day. And look at all this shade on my deck. I mean, look at all that. Look at it. Look at it. I mean, I'm sitting under a lovely canopy of trees. Hello, Mike. Hello, Robin. I just saw the of Leticia's live where she wanted to talk about people going live with no teeth. Well, considering that I know she probably can't remember a simple name like Roger Brown. So I was actually getting ready to get cleaned up. You know, I've just got up and I just woke up and I flipped on the old YouTube and it was live and it went in and I took care of the kitties and I came back and it was disconnected and I could watch it. And I watched a few minutes and she wanted to, hi Yates. I mean, oh, what's this right here? What is that? Oh my God, it's a house. I get to keep my stuff there. Yes, I do. Because in my 20s, I busted my ass. Yes, I did. Now, Leticia is not in her 20s, and she actually has no idea what busting one's ass is. And, you know, in reality, I was about to get cleaned up. I thought about doing this live after I got cleaned up, but who cares? I mean, you know, for my video later, I will be all clean and sparkly. But, you know, since she wanted to single me out, I thought, and make assumptions. You know how she always says people make assumptions about her. And you know, over there, I've been cleaning some laundry, and I got one of my comforters out and cleaned, and it's too heavy at the moment to pull out. But, you know, I'm going to wring that out and hang it up to dry. There's a big orange bucket with about 50 gallons of water, and I'm going to go over to it and take a bath. And I'm going to be all cleaned up. Now, well, I don't bother it because people attacking me for the fact that I'm getting my teeth pulled in dentures is just stupid. Because most people my age do have dentures. And as my last live for those that was here, for 27 years I had a bad gallbladder in me. Every morning I puked my guts out for 27 fucking years. In the last 12 years of not puking every morning is wonderful. Every day. Because for 27 years, I started my day over a toilet gagging up bile. Every day. And all of that acid is what destroyed my teeth. So anyone that wants to attack me on that point is just absolutely showing their ignorance. And I don't bother saying that constantly, because, you know, which is, you know, what I told you is the truth, because I don't care what they say. It just is a wonderful example to where I can say, you're a small, stupid person and doesn't know shit. And also, by doing it, every older person that has dentures is now hitting the unsubscribe button. Hello, Rachel. But, you know, that's what people like Shannon doesn't understand. You know, Shannon hit her sub count. Why? Ooh, boom! Is why. Because her 1,000 new subscribers off talking about Molly Go Lightly in Summer Wells' case, they're not going to take good to that. And, you know, going through our demographics, most of the drama community is women above 40 to 50 something. It's a fact. And Shannon doesn't understand that she has two kinds, diehards, and most of them that think she's a joke. Now, Leticia's a joke, and she doesn't understand that. And that's what makes a good lolcow. You know, talking it over with others, hello, Dan. You know, lolcows have to take themselves too seriously. I don't take myself seriously. Now, I take certain life and death things seriously, like Leticia going around and trying to use the cops as her pimp. Pay my money or I'll put you in jail. I'm channeling Rich Life. Well, Monica, now the thing is, if it's criticism and not abuse, I'm fine with it. I mean, if someone wants to be critical, you know, of what I do, how I do it, and say why they feel that way, that's YouTube. That's terms of service. That's fair use. But all she does is abuse. That's all she does with everyone is call names, because you see, in the MFW crowd, that's all they had to do was call MFW a bunch of nasty names, and people gave them money because they hated MFW. But the whole MFW crowd on that side, you know, your Savage, your Shannon, your Pirate, they have become what they hated. Hello, Travels. And like I say, in Kit Kat showing up in my life, I'm supposedly suffering. I mean, does it look like that I'm suffering out here? I mean, it's a gorgeous day. It's going to get about 90 degrees. And where I'm sitting here, it's not going to get any hotter. Now, if you also notice, look at that. I'm not sure I got the camera at the right angle. I'm hoping I am. But if you can see that right, you see an entire set of trees, and they all have leaves that lean over my house. So it helps keep the place a lot. You know, I got one room with an air conditioner on. I'm betting in Arkansas Leticia's wishing for that air conditioner. It's not a great air conditioner. It's on its last legs. But you know what? It still air conditions well enough to keep myself a nice room. And as you can see, my door is open. You know, I'm just letting the air circulate. I've got fans going in two places that's blowing any hot air out, but I don't have them on right now because the morning air is still in the house and it's still pretty cool. Now it's noon now, and it won't be like that in a couple hours. Well, like here, I mean, the trees that I planted ages ago, they provide, I mean, you see right there is my wonderful little winter. And she's just sitting there washing herself on the deck. And looks like Lorgar, I don't have my glasses on, but it looks like Lorgar's over there. And Sissy's getting a drink. And Fulgrim's getting, is getting a drink. Now, also, Leticia has to drive 8 hours for pot. So 8 times 60 is 480 miles. And considering the speed limit's a bit higher, we'll just call it 500 and round it a little low. Robin, I just got up. Yeah, I just got up. I will be fine. I just got up. And I have all my sinuses in my head. Like I said, I started to get cleaned up and do this, but in reality, after I get cleaned up, I got shit to do. You know, I'm not Leticia. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead on the live and bullshit, and then I'll get myself cleaned up and I'll start my day. Normally I get up about 6 to 8 o'clock, but you know, I had a big party night with a lovely lady on Saturday night, and ever since then I'm sleeping a little bit late and feeling a bit rough because I partied hard. And I get with her about every other weekend. So next weekend you get me on YouTube because she had me this last Saturday. But I can't say, I do have to say though, if she does give me a call, I will blow you off. I'm sorry, my friends, but if she does call, I will blow you off. I'll feel real bad about it for about 5 seconds. But you never see Leticia, have fun. Mike, you want a perma-band-aid? I mean, actually, what I'm hitting is better than anything in the Boyd. I mean, Desiree's model pretty. She's just in her 30s. And she does too much meth. And she'll rob you blind. It's why I can get insights on girls like Leticia. But you see, Desiree's my friend. I don't leave my wallet or valuables near her, by the way. But Shannon, I mean, I'd fuck the neighbors if I had to. I would have sex with no one, but I mean, if it was between Shannon and my neighbor's goat, I would definitely choose the neighbor's goat. Now, if it came down to Leticia and the goat, I'd be going, they're kind of on equal level. As a man, I mean, I have been accused by my own family of having too high standards. When they were alive. Yes, I was accused by my family of having too high standards. And my response is, you say that like it's a bad thing. Now Rick, Alfarius, he's got the hots for Shannon. In her wide birthing hips, and in the fact that, if his horse gets tired, his horse can ride Shannon. Because, I mean, the first thing out of Shannon's mouth, she likes to try to body shame people, and she's as morbidly obese as fuck. Now, I'm using that as a foil going back onto Leticia, because Leticia supposedly has 2 pounds of baby and 18 pounds otherwise, which I don't believe. Because, according to Leticia, I'm almost 6 foot tall. I have a thyroid issue, so I'm a really wide-based guy. And she is 2 pounds, according to her, off my weight. WB, goats are an important thing in life. Matter of fact, in reality, you should be talking about Macedonians, because they were goat herders, and they were looked down upon, and they almost conquered the world, and they did conquer their known world. Yes, they did. I know a lot about history, and the fact of the matter is, goats make milk, and they're a whole lot easier to deal with than cows. Yes, they are. Now, I have a lot of animals around here. We've got alpacas. We've got emus in Kentucky. There's a couple locals that have them, and there's goats all around here. And many horses are very popular where I am. So there's a lot of them. Now, Leticia, however, I had my live last night, and I guess she watched, mentioning the me with no teeth. So, her mouth got you alive right now. Because, Roger was going to go do different things. Hi, honey. You don't want love? Oh, I got a Chellachew over here. Chellachew, I choose you. Come here, Chella. She's grabbing me. It's getting me. She's eating me up. Hold on, everyone. I'm being eaten up. I was just trying to lift you up. I'm trying not to be eaten. Can we not eat me? Okay, well, evidently we cannot not eat me. It's eating me. Well, I'm supposed to take something from my thyroid and I don't. Because I told the doctor you have to explain all medications to me because I have to make sure that that medication is not going to make me dangerous to other people. And he didn't, and he just called it in after I told him never to do that. And then I fired him. Then I called him up and I called him a stupid son of a bitch. And I said, motherfucker, I told you because of that, if I hurt anyone, then I would come right fucking after you. Did you think I was fucking joking, you stupid motherfucker? And that is exactly what I said and how I said it on the phone to him. And then I told him he's not my doctor anymore. And then I went click. And I was wishing it was the old-fashioned phone that I could slam fucking down on him. Yes, I did. And that's now why Roger's in search for a good girl doctor. Because female doctors tend to listen more than the male doctor that thinks they have a God complex, like the three that gave me 3 misdiagnoses during my life that destroyed it in the other doctors that covered up for it. Now, once again, that was a handful of doctors that did that, because none of them would go against the first doctor. They all lived in the same region. They all went to the same country club. Had any of them ever testified against the doctor, they would have been kicked out of their little clubs. But I don't blame society. I don't say there's a conspiracy. There was just a bunch of asshole doctors like the cops watching their own backs. And that's why I tell any doctor now that if I am harmed severely over a misdiagnosis, I can't say it on YouTube, but I pointed to the glass at the window and stated the fact that they're going through it. And I mean it too. Any doctor puts me on something and I go out and I hurt someone, I'm going to go back and take that doctor, and unfortunately for him, that building's that doctor area is on the 4th floor. Well, here WB, they have their own little buddy network, They all go to the same country clubs, and any doctor that testifies against another doctor, well, then all the other doctors shun them. And they don't get recommendations and such. And, people don't send patients to them. And that's the way that little grift works. And that's why, the Roger, because, my gallbladder ruined my life. I mean, seriously, and that gallbladder being bad is why I didn't get my 40 hours of work in, and I'm not drawing $325 more a month. WB. It is. You get your teacher click like that. Your cops have their own click like that too. And so does your local doctors. Now, the Canadian way for the slush fund, I think that's probably the best idea. Not everything in America is perfect, but you see, the original American experiment is 50 states were supposed to do their own thing. But around Woodrow Wilson time, they decided the federal government must be the power of all. We must rule you all. But before that, you were supposed to be able to move in between systems. If you didn't like the laws in Ohio, you could move to Kentucky. If you didn't like the laws in Kentucky, you could move to another 48 states. It's okay, let it go. We're not being serious. And I really didn't intend on going live. But Leticia wanted to talk about the creator with no teeth. So we're here, and as I said earlier, I just got up. Now I'm about 20 minutes into the live, so, I'm about 50 minutes up, so I'm finally getting that sleep out of my eyes, and I'm going to get off here in about another 15 or 20 minutes, and I'm going to go over here and get cleaned up. I have a third of my teeth, actually. Yes, I do. I still have a third. And during COVID, before COVID, I had a third of them pulled. It's just, with my Medicaid, every state does it differently, and I can't have all the work done at once. Now, Kentucky, like doctor stuff, I pay nothing. And my drugs, You know, if I need a medication, I pay nothing. But Kentucky screws that on dental. I can only get 2 teeth pulled at a time because of their rules. Because if I got anything more than 2 teeth pulled, I would have to have it out of pocket. So I have to have 2 teeth pulled, let it heal. And since COVID happened, you know, the dentist shut down forever. And the dentist has been backlogged forever. And it's months to get into the dentist now. Welcome to Kentucky. And that's what COVID did. And I'm not shutting down anymore. Well, Rick, I don't worry about it. You know, I have my rattlesnake tolerance for pain, and my mouth don't bother me most of the time. Now, I don't quite remember this, but, I mean, what day was it? I guess like 4 or 5 days ago, I was cleaning behind the couch, you know, doing the old lift the couch up thing and getting under it. And I found a big fucking bottle of pain pills. I mean, they got my name on it. They've got the date, you know, so they're at least 5 years old. But to be honest with you, I still, you know, despite my great memory, I don't remember getting those. But they're prescribed to me. My name on it, the doctor's name on it. And from the look of it, I didn't take a single one. Now I know why. Because you remember how I say I have drug interactions? Pain pills is one of them. If I was to take that bottle and take 2 of those pain pills a day till they were done, it would be over a week or so, and I would start to have head and mood changes. You know, it's what it would do. And that's why, no doubt, those pills were behind there. Well, yeah, Cass, because, you know, taking opiates for a week would make me dangerous to those around me. Now, in reality, if my mouth does start to hurt, I could take 1, I could take 2. And I'd be all okay. And I could not take any the next day, and take 1 or 2 the next day after that, if I ever needed. But, you know, I avoid those things like the plague. Well, hello, freak. I'm, where I've got a little bit of, the sun is like right above me, so I've got a little glare on the screen, so I can only see like, this much of chat. The rest of it's kind of glared out on me. But you know, Leticia wants to criticize me and others on how horrible I'm living. I mean, does it look like I'm suffering? That was the big thing last night. That I'm supposedly suffering. I mean, now I might be suffering later, but it's this reason. It's this kitty right here. Now that kitty might make me suffer because she was getting me. But you know, this is my deck, and Eric just went up on the container and got him a big drink, which I don't know why, because he's got 4 containers here with it. And now he's going to go in the house and get him something to eat. Well, isn't all legal here? Well, yes, let it go. She drove, now I digressed. You know, she drove 8 hours. She drove 500 miles to buy weed. How many miles do you think she gets a gallon? We know under 30. So, you know, she had to spend at least 15 gallons of gasoline. Buy noodles! Remember, we have rules here. You just broke one of them and your ass is banned, motherfucker. Have a nice day. Robin, yes. Yes, I do. Because you see, I get weed at a better rate. Now, let's go into some business here. She begs for money. Now, I was starting to laugh for a minute because I'm thinking funny things. But, okay, I used to sell marijuana. I used to have girls offer them physically to me all the time. And never, ever, 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 never did I trade weed for sex. I'm like, you need to maybe go out and find someone else and bring me back $50. Because when I'm in business, I don't do that. It's money. Money, money, and money. And, you know, you can go peddle that little asshole somewhere else and bring me my $50 and you can have that 7.5 grams of weed. Because that's what I sold it at, a little bit heavy. Once again, it gave more of an incentive for people to do for me. Well, another thing that I'm laughing is, you know, besides the fact that she spent $150 in gas to go get her weed, and if you added just a few dollars to it, that's how much my cost for an ounce of the really super killer is. Just her gas money. And myself, you know, per se, I don't have to go anywhere. My weed marches its own ass down that road. Yes. Well, because you said the teeth would. I mean, there's certain things in here that's just getting every ass banned, and that's one of them. Anything that attacks the teeth, anyone that attacks the cat, anyone that says I'm suffering, anyone that talks about I don't have any running water, those fucking accounts get permabanned, and then you just have to go to your alts. Well, no, I've said it quite often, so, you know, that's going to be not being ignorance is an excuse thing. Unfortunately, the lovely Maud has got angry at you. Yes, she did. And the mods get to do what they want. So, I didn't do that one. I did the first one, but the mod just nailed you on the second one, Noodles. Well, let's put it this way, Miss Let It Go. Think about it. It took me about 2 seconds. Yes, it took me about 2 seconds, but you know who it is. You just have to think about it. Yes, like I said, you just have to think about it a little bit. Well, there's Scarbrand. I mean, Scarbrand has a mod. I don't think Verily Veronica has a mod on this channel. Grimgoth, he's got a mod. And Waffles has a mod. Because, you know, he is the Boyd historian, and he's a responsible adult that even if I'm bickering with someone else he's a mod for, he's absolutely neutral. So, you know, he has a wrench in this channel. Well, Amber, she is. I mean, well, Veronica's yet to have lives. Now, Mike, when Veronica gets 500 subs, you get Veronica lives. And that's all it's waiting for. It's just a bit more subscribers. And I think that Verily Veronica is 40 subscribers away from me doing Verily Veronica lives. So, you know, that will be something on a different day. And that's kind of why you've not had him here, because, once again, putting all of my character stuff on here caused problems. Now, a lot of my irregulars liked it, but overall it caused problems. Noodles, I mean, I ain't gonna ban you on that one because I know someone else is. Oh, man. Well, they must be looking at someone else. So I had to go on that one, because we can't have threats and chats against anyone. It's okay, Fulgrim. He was sneaking up behind me, and I turned around and looked at us like, you see me. But, you know, it's a wonderful day here, and Leticia is sitting in her hot car on a day that's going to be 90 fucking degrees. Now, Rachella bites. I mean, she treats me like I'm her little brother. She's went to bed. I had a problem last night going. One of the reasons why I slept so late is for hours last night until about 3 in the morning, Rachella was on my chest in the game room asleep with me holding her. No, Robin, I don't. But one thing I am sitting over is a massive amount of pollen, and I need to blow my nose. Now, you know, I am fat and Leticia's morbidly obese. Oh, Rachella bites everyone. I mean, Rachella has no respect. Do you, Chella, too? She's looking at her brother. You see that? That's the face that's thinking about attacking her brother. She got distracted. Now, I'm surprised that none of the wild ones are out here. I was going to show you guys a cat that's not mine, but I guess they all wandered off. But I mean, it's beautiful here. I live in paradise. Well, Cass, like a baby, when a kitty's little, I support all her body, and she likes that. In my first serious pet, you know, she used to do it too, and she would stretch her back. You know, the cat stretch, she'd stretch her back and get along with me doing it. And I figure that Rachella will learn that at some point, and there just went off Gandalf really quick. But he walked by Tyranny, and everyone walks past Tyranny quick. Well, yeah, boy kitties are generally better kitties. But do you have any waffle syrup, Noodle? Do you have any waffle syrup? I bet you don't. I bet you don't have any waffle syrup. I bet you just got things to go with noodles. My mods must be having a powwow. But I have to laugh at Leticia. I mean, I have pets. I have a home. Now, unlike her, I don't go around and beg for everything. You know, it's the end of the month, and I just waiting on Wednesday. You know, I got a frozen pizza I'm going to have later today. I'm going to take some of this water in a pot, and I'm going to make iced tea today. I'm going to take a gallon of water over here. I'm going to boil it and turn it into tea. And then I'm going to put it in a gallon jug. And then I'm going to add sugar. And then I'm going to shake it up and put it in the refrigerator. So, you know, I'm going to have frozen pizza today, and I've got enough fresh water here to make me a couple gallons of iced tea. And Wednesday I go to the store, and Wednesday a month's worth of pot walks itself down that road. And I mean, I just have to lazily walk to my driveway. I mean, That's all I have to do. I mean, Leticia has to drive 15 hours for her marijuana. My marijuana drives itself to me, and I just go out there and grab it. I mean, it takes me seconds. And then I go put it up in a secret place. And then he takes me to the store. And I pay him. Yep, you didn't ask Young Noodles that one. Oh, no, WB. You see, in Kentucky, anything over 3 plants, they will seize everything you own and throw you in jail. Because that's how law enforcement funds themselves around here. Now, if you're a drug dealer and you pay them for selling it, well, then you can do what you want. Well, what I'm going to do is just get out 2 gallons and boil the whole gallon. Because Elric's over here drinking out of my gallon pot. So I'm going to, right after the live, I'm going to take a bath. And I'm going to clean that pot out too. And like I say, then I'm going to fill it up with water, put it in there, and I'll get 2 gallon jugs out there. And yeah, that's what I'll do. And that's how I do it. Well, WB, let's not in the national, because see, when you do it off land, it's in the national forest or it's on someone else's property. And around here, you'll get shot. I mean, it's like the local, right here, I can go where I want. You know, like the farm back there, no one lives there and I know them. So, you know, I can go a mile that way. And I can go about 1/4 mile that way, and that way I can go for miles. Because that's the way the deer comes from. So, you know, there's places to go and places to not. Now, you're not going to put pot on the deer trails and have it survive. And down here, you have to tend it. It needs water at some point or it's not going to do anything. What I need is my state to start being insane. But the reality of the matter is, illegal, I pay half as much as you would. And that's if you buy it illegal. If I buy it illegal, I'm getting the same thing at half your cost. So, you know, I don't see me ever buying it legal. You know, even when they make dispensaries here, because the states are too greedy. They basically price themselves out of business. And I have to laugh about it. You know, and now what I do have to laugh about is, you know, now I started to talk on this and I had a question and I got sidetracked. But I used to be a weed dealer. Would you sell Leticia weed? You know, I talk about women offering themselves, and I'm sure that Leticia's done that too. And I'm sure that Leticia, you know, demanded buku. And I'm sure that they said, get fucked whore. Now here I can have 3. Now, I can't have 3 here because someone in the McCoy's sphere would steal them. Yes. So that's why I don't grow the 3 that I can grow. Because if you do, as they start to bud, they all get stolen. So, you know, that's as it is. Now, once the laws change, I've got that pond here, and my place, the way it's laid out, would make a perfect weed growing operation. So the day that they decide that farmers can grow weed and then sell it on the market, I'm no longer on disability. Now, right now, a plant's worth $1,000 each. Now, with the government getting involved, it will probably go down to worth about $100 each. But the fact of the matter is, I could put tens of thousands of plants out on this property. Well, WB, it's going to happen. Because the government needs money. My entire life is the local governments need more money. More things happen. Used to be, for generations, you couldn't buy alcohol here. And you still can't. But in Somerset, in the city limits, and Lancaster, you can. Because those cities needed money. And all that money was going to Richmond, Kentucky. And they've legalized medical marijuana here. They did that over a year ago. And they made no way for you to get it. Now, once, they do make it to where there's a way to get it, the state will pay for some of my medical marijuana. But the reality of the matter is, who cares? I mean, as I've mentioned, I'm paying for the super killer half of what you would pay. And in a dispensary, they would charge double that or more. So, I'm basically getting my weed at, this is a guesstimation. Once again, I want to put it out here, as a guesstimation. Because I've not looked exactly at prices, but I know what other people have told me in California's. I'm getting my weed for a quarter of what it would cost the dispensary. And it's like me right now, because of my agreement, they know my condition. I could have any amount of weed that I wanted brought down that road right now. I would just have to pay for it at some point. And, Wednesday's my re-up day. I get paid at 1 a.m. My electric bill comes out about 12:30. Well, Michigan lady, that's what this place needs. But once again, politicians just keep wanting to tax things. And once they open dispensaries here, I'm going to grow more than 3 plants. But once again, it's fairly affordable for me. And if it wasn't for the state not picking up my medication, see, the doctors did tell me to go ahead and smoke it. That's why I'm not worried about saying it on YouTube. Because if they were ever to, quote, come here and want to law me all up, I just go up to the doctor and say, or not the doctor, but the judge, and it says, ex-doctor told me to, until you people get your shit together. And then it would be dismissed right there. Well, yes, Rachel, because she wants it her way. I just don't move people in here, despite the fact that I have seizures and shouldn't live alone, because anyone that would be a Leticia-like creature. Well, no, Leticia wants a free ride, but Leticia, one reason why she says, I'm not giving up this baby, is because she intends on using it for a free ride. She intends on going after daddies. She has a whole host of options. And she's going to use the state, when she has that baby in a hospital. That's what she's going to do. Now, it's like here, I know they'd give her a room right now. I know right where, too. Christian Appalachian Project. If you're a woman with a kid or pregnant, I mean, they give you a free place, a stipend, education, job training. Now, you see what I just said? Those are things you have to do as a part of the program to get the stipend check and the free rent. You have to go through these other educations and programs too. But that's all you have to do, because they give you a monthly stipend. This is Christian Appalachian Project. This isn't the government. They give you a stipend, and there is an old hotel that they converted the entire thing into apartments. So yeah, I mean, and that's why she doesn't do any kinds of that. There's strings attached. You know, to all those wonderful brass rings that she wants to grab onto, there are strings attached. Very fair strings. I mean, really. I mean, there'd be classes on taking care of the baby. There would be an occasional classes on things like budgeting and household. And she would attend those like once a week for a couple hours. I mean, not anything, you know, that you'd say, all the hoops they make you jump through. That's all she would have to do, is take 2 classes. The house one, you know, they would just a couple hours a week. That's it. And also the one about job training, that would probably be for 3 or 4 hours once a week, and it would probably mostly start with refresher school stuff. You know, reading, writing, and arithmetic, as they used to say. I mean, simple ass shit. They even have GED tests there. You know, if you don't have your education, you can take GED classes there too. And once a month there, they offer the GED test. Well, yes, Rachel, I mean, what she's crying about money now, as I told in my last live, I eat pretty good off $4 to $6 a day. Now, hamburger's gone up to $6, and I used to have hamburger, you know, and then use an entire hamburger for a day. But you know, now I like to make chili, add crackers, or noodles, and put cheese on top, and hot sauce. And tacos, you know, instead of making that whole pound of hamburger, I'm making a half a pound of hamburger, and I'm adding rice to make up for the other part. And it works really good. And that's how, you know, hamburgers still gone up so high, and I'm still and I'm doing better. I mean, every month I'm getting a little better at making everything stretch. Oh, Amber, it is an excellent charity. I mean, where if you were, you know how a lot of places just do things for money? Christian Appalachian Project is very Christian. And people, because of its rating and the good work that they do, people give out ass to that place. Actually, Sherry, they will call they'll call the powers that be, because your hospital is going to have like a social worker type position, and she will inform the powers that be, and they will want her to go into a program, make a plan. That counselor is going to ask her, what do you intend to do? Now, depending on what she says, may depend on what happens. So, you know, but, you know, there's plenty of good places, and I don't know Hot Springs, Arkansas, but I'm betting, it's just a bet here, that there is something to the equivalent of Christian Appalachian Project, but maybe not as good. Because, you know, as you looked up, you saw that they had a maximum rating. And they're generally wonderful people. But you know, their whole thing is women. I mean, women with children and pregnant women. And if you don't have an education, you can go there and get your schooling for your education and your GED if you're a pregnant woman or not. Or if you have a PP. Watching this bumblebee next to me. Please, bee, not in my face. Bee was trying to land in my face. I gotta move. He's decided that my face is the place to land, and I don't want that bumblebee landing on my face and stinging me, so I'm going to get up now. But you know, I live here with nature. Okay, he was only interested in me. Now there he is again. Well, I guess I'll stand here and do my live. And this is a walnut tree, by the way. It will produce walnuts to fall on our head. And now and then in the fall, you'll hear walnuts hitting the top of the house. And let me see, and that's a walnut, and that's a walnut. So I got 3 walnut trees by my house, and another one there, and another one there. But you see, that's something that I did here. I planted black walnut trees everywhere that I could. Now, they're not like your normal walnut. People usually like them for like cakes, pies, and fudges. And they go for, if they're shelled, they go for like $35 a gallon. So, you know, as life gets hard, you know, I can always get a big nutcracker here. Michigan lady, it's doing horrible. My kitties annihilated everything but the beans. I love my kitties. So, Roger's like, because I wanted to have it near the water source. And my 2 attempts at that failed. The kitties destroyed it. Now, I do have beans growing over here, and I don't eat beans. But I'll trade them to someone for some tomatoes. But, next year, I'm going to put a garden behind the barn. Because my kitties can't get at it. It's just any place I dig, it's a place to poop for them. Because my kitties go outside. You know, this time of year, now in the winter, I've got boxes in every room, and 2 rooms, 2 boxes. But this time of year, my kitties all go outside and, well, Travel Sky, I'm going to be. Now, one of my neighbors put out a little extra for me. And I really, really appreciate he did that. But, yes, next year I'm putting my garden behind the barn. And also, the lovely Ashley wants to make a garden here. And I said, yes. So, you know, I'll have some I can get out of that. And she knows a fellow with a tractor, and it's too late in the year to do it, but next year that fellow will come with a tractor, and in 2 spots he's going to make her a garden plot. And then I'm going to go behind the barn, and I'm going to make yet another garden plot. Yes, I am. For stuff that I want to can. Well, that's the other thing here is deer, bunnies. You know, I'm blaming my kitties for it all, but in reality, deer and bunnies are also responsible. But, you know, I blame my pets. But they're mostly responsible. You know, they did have allies. You know, they did have deer and bunny allies. And every time that I walk to the store, I see all sorts of bunnies. Now, Monster ran under me. I was going to grab her Chilla, but... Oh, there you are. It's a Chilla too. Oh, it's a Chilla too. And she immediately looked. No, she's using your bones, honey. You're getting all boneless, honey. Says, nope, I got bones today. She's too busy. Well, yeah, Papa Perk, you know. I don't bring it all to YouTube. But, you know, when I have a lolcow that I can compare. You know, Leticia likes to smoke pot too much. So do I, really. And, you know, she expects God is going to come from the heavens and do everything for her. Oh, yeah, she has. And I also found out she's older than I thought. Yes, yes. I found out that my lovely kitty's older than I thought. I went back through my phone, deleting old stuff, and she's actually was born a little after September. I didn't know. I thought it was you know, they say time flies when you're having fun. But she's actually 2 months older than I would have told you some weeks ago. And she should have had her first heat, and she hasn't. Because of my 2 months missing, you know, wow, she could have got knocked up. And Lorgar could knock her up thinking about it, and okay, there's 3 wildcats that could knock her up, and it wouldn't be crossbreeding. But, you know, with her, I have to be really, really careful. You know, fortunately, she's very attached to me. And I really, if I can get a ride ever, I need to get Summer fixed. But I have a dilemma on between Summer and her. Because Summer is not related to anything but her children. Where this one over here, you know, as I said, I have to be really, really careful with her. Now, fortunately with me, she spends most of the time with me, and at night, I make sure all of the boy kitties are out, and I make sure she is inside. Now, Leticia says she wants a place like mine, out in the country, away from people where she could have dogs. I mean, I have to laugh, really. I mean, people like Leticia. I mean, but she thinks that what's between her legs is going to get her the world. I mean, as I used to say about weed, you know, no women could ever give it up to me and get a bud for even matter. You know, no woman's ever going to move in here. Nope, nope, nope. You know, after my last foray in dating, no, I'm not having serious relationships anymore. No, I'm not. You know, the women seem to be too damaged. You know, and Leticia couldn't con her ass into here. I'm trying to think. I mean, no, I mean, I don't care if she brought an army worthy of Mordor behind her. I'm grabbing that sword over there and I'm fighting the orcs. I shall not yield. But yes, you know, I'm enjoying my day and relaxing, and the sun's right above me, and I mean, it's beautiful. And today I don't have to do anything. You know, I've kind of started a different routine, and I'm starting to take 1 day a week as a day of rest. And I didn't yesterday, so I'm doing it today. Well, Grimgoth lives on the island, and Alfarius lives in the barn, and Verily Veronica lives over there in that blue trailer. Now, I'm not sure if I said it right, but if you saw the little tiny windows, on the inside of that is the Verily Veronica set. And it's a beautiful fixed-up bedroom. Well, Amber, there's a thing. Now, Roger had a theory. And some things that original Al showed lead credence to it. She was pregnant before the 4 Johns. she whored, she got pregnant. And then she needed something to blame it on. So what was her first thought? I need to find me a guy to use. So I actually believe she may be a little more pregnant. Now, she does that too. Now, she does that. You know, she eats to make herself bigger. And there's a couple thoughts on that. There was a woman in March that offered her money for an abortion. Now, knowing grifting whores, she probably told that other person she had the abortion. Probably. Now, and didn't. Because I was thinking, could she have had the abortion and then got knocked up again and then, you know, trying to compensate? But the uterus size, from what Original Al says, you know, I have this point of circumstantial evidence. And this point of circumstantial evidence tells me that she is farther along than 6 months. Or she's lying about dates. But considering that I've seen videos from those days, I'm going to give her that one on the date that she hooked up with him. But I think she had already missed a period. I think she missed a period and said, shit. Because, you know, people don't go around paying for pregnant whores unless they're into that, and that's a very niche audience, I would guess. Well, Amber, she doesn't know how to turn it off. It's why she doesn't have super chats on. She doesn't know how to turn them on. Now, when I start my live, I know how to cut off chat. Now, I can't during the live. You know, like right now, on this phone. Now, I think on a computer you can. I'm not sure. But, you know, on this phone, it's already gone. I'm sweating. You know, because I'm starting to break a sweat because it's hot out here. And it is, you know, it's finally now, you know, getting to where I'm breaking the sweat. But, you know, the sun is right over me. Now, what annoys me too, but, you know, I got a bead of sweat. I'm sweating right here. And in reality, that's what the flies want. They want the salt and they want some sweat. Well, yeah, Robin, she has no idea. You know, now, like starting to say that sharing content was stealing it. And then 2 weeks later, Coates said the same thing, and Coates had been on YouTube for years, which, you know, Leticia has an excuse that she's a YouTube noob. You know, not knowing and, you know, coming to YouTube, that's kind of to be expected. But old Coates, I mean, he'd been on YouTube for years and years and doesn't understand how sharing a video works. Well, no, she's not. I mean, could you imagine being her teacher? How do you teach anyone that already knows everything? You see, when I used to work in the perfume factory, one of the reasons why I would not change jobs is because I had it easy there. They had me as the guy that trains. Everyone was supposed to train, but I trained people the best. So, if there was one person to be trained, I was training. And their rule on training, you didn't work. You were not allowed to help them. You were not allowed to help them. You had to demonstrate, you had to show, but I had this one guy, a Leticia kind. He knew everything and you couldn't tell him nothing. And that's what I had to go back to my boss and tell. I had to tell her that, I'm sorry, but this guy is untrainable. He already knows everything. He's not listening. He keeps fucking up and we have to keep shutting the line off. But I flat out told her, the fact is, this guy isn't going to listen and he isn't going to learn. And he was gone, like, poof! Now, what surprised me, they took someone else's trainee away and gave them to me. And I felt bad. Because, getting a trainee was like an easy day at work. And I didn't expect that. Had I known, they were going to do that to me and it was going to hurt someone that was my friend, I would have just sent the motherfucker to the bathroom and told him to clean it. I would have too. I would have made him think that that was a part of the job and that he needed to go over here and clean the bathroom and I would have did his work position. Because the ladies that ran the line was getting kind of mad. And that's when I decided, do the right thing and inform my boss. But, if I would have known that she was going to take someone else's trainee away and give to me, I'd have definitely made the dude cleaned all the bathrooms. There were 2 men and 2 women, and they were really big too. Like big giant college dormitory bathrooms. Back when colleges were big. But yeah, I would have had him scrub anything. But that's what I would have done. Now, I didn't know that at the time. But yeah, that was my encounter, but this was a guy. Now, I do have to say that on YouTube, the female gender does that more. Now, in reality, I don't know if it's more male or female or if it's kind of even. I'm guessing it's kind of even, in reality. Because, you have men like Coates. I mean, Coates would get mashed. I mean, with the people I used to hang around with, anyone that intense or a germaphobe, I mean, they would have made him eat dirt. Yes, they would have. And they all would have laughed as they did it. And drank beer. But once again, going back to Leticia, Leticia only thinks that bad things can happen to Leticia. And as Leticia says, she will die before she works. Now, being a 34-year-old disabled woman not from North Carolina, her solution always is men hookups. But, when you hit that 30s, the young men start looking at you like, Mom. The only reason I used to ever go to the titty bars, which were in Covington and Cincinnati, was because I was meeting someone there for a deal. And, I was like, what was its time? I wasn't working at Avon yet. I guess I was 22. I guess that was much earlier than I thought. And, one of these Leticia-like age women came up to me and, I'm like 22. And, and she's got big, huge tits. And, like right now, she would be totally my type. She'd be 10 years younger and attractive. But, sitting there at 22, it's like, Mom, get away from me. And that's how I refer to her. I'm like, what is it, Mom? And then after about 8 sentences of me demeaning her and calling her Mom, she wandered her little stripper ass off the other direction. Yes, she did. Because they wanted you to buy them a drink, which was a Coca-Cola for $15. And then they would sit and talk with you for about 20 minutes. And like I say, I'm there to sell weed. I'm waiting on a dude. Well, Travel Sky,
I talked about my daughter the other day, and I didn't talk about her marriage. Now, it did surprise me, but she actually married someone a little bit older than me. I mean, she definitely did the spring, September romance thing. And when I found that out, I thought about it. And then I found out I was okay with it. Because looking at all of the pictures, I can see they have a happy family, and they love each other, and my daughter and my granddaughters live in a nice neighborhood, and they go to a nice school. And they're living what people would call the American dream. So, I have to look at it all as a win. Because my daughter's safe, she's secure. I have 3 granddaughters. Now, the oldest one, she looks a lot like me in my family. Now, the 2 younger granddaughters, they look just like their father. And they don't look like anything like me. But, my granddaughter looks like a mixture of me and her mother. And a little bit of my dad. Well, yeah, Sasha. I mean, in here in the hills of Kentucky, I'm trying to think what year it might have been. Give me a minute. I have to think for a moment and do some math to tell you something accurately. My mother was born in 1939. Her older brother was... I'm thinking 12 years older than her. So, 37, 27... It would have been around early 1920s. My grandfather, on my mother's side, married my grandmother at 12 years old. I never knew them. All my grandparents but my father's father was dead before I was born. But, my mother was born in 39, but somewhere during the early 20s, and my grandfather was a priest. Yes, he was too. My grandfather on my mother's side, I know people's going to laugh at this, but yes, he was a priest. And he married my grandmother at 12 years old. Welcome to the Kentucky of 100 years ago. And my mother had 8 brothers and sisters. And all but a couple of them are dead now. So, that is how it used to be. And one of the reasons why is because that family wanted to marry the Keith. Let me move my glasses. They were Keiths, and they wanted to marry the local preacher. So they basically, in an old-fashioned, arranged a marriage with their youngest daughter to the priest. I mean, I have to kind of look at it sideways myself. But I don't know any of these people, and it is what happened. I knew my Uncle Woodson, his brother. I mean, I'm working on it. I never actually mentioned him on YouTube, and now that I'm mentioning it, I'm having an issue. Now, this uncle, when I only knew him when I was a child, an early teen, he would threaten to cut you up. He wasn't a priest, by the way. I mean, because I was thinking about exact threats that he had said at different times, but all of them could get my channel deleted. So yes, I mean, when it was stretched, to You know, those around him is, and he wasn't kidding either, I mean. And he lived in Daniel Boone National Forest. And that's where, as a young one, that I used to play, so to say. And as they would say, watch for the snakes. And the second biggest copperhead I ever saw was on his porch. It crawled right up on his old shack's porch and just wound itself right up there. And he walked in and grabbed a shotgun and blew its head off. You know, just like you would if you saw a weed next in your garden and you thought, I better pull that. You just walked in there, grabbed that 12 gauge, walked back out, boom! And its top of its head just went bloody mist backwards. And then he picked up the snake and took it out of the yard and threw it in the woods. But they didn't have running water. They lived off a rain barrel. And so did my mother growing up. Oh, no, he didn't. But you know, he did. Now, a lot of what I know about dangerous snakes, I did learn from him. And in reality, you're more likely to, like, if I go out here and walk in the fields, I'm not going to run into a snake. Where I'm sitting here right now, you know, one of them could get up right next to me. You know, because you see, the snakes, you know, they get hot. They are not warm-blooded. They have nothing to regulate. So when that sun gets too hot for them, they head for the shade. You know, little places like this. And that's where you run into the poisonous snakes at. Now, once again, like brush piles, you know, you're to beware of snakes there. You walk through the fields a little hard and you're fine. You know, you're a little stompy in your step and you're never going to have problems walking through anything for a snake. Because they don't smell, they sense your vibration and they move the other way. But, you know, on a deck or around your house, that's a different story. Because in the summer, they overheat and they have to get in the shade or they will die. You know, they'll basically cook themselves if they don't. So that's when you got to worry about snakes around here. And I've only had to deal with one, you know, in my 25 years here. And it was in 2016. I had just moved out of my house and was getting ready to move into the barn. I was on the other side of the deck by the other entrance. And I hear cat jumps. And I'm like, Tiger, what are you doing? And I turn around and Tiger's fighting a 6-foot-long copperhead. Hello, Smelly. I mean, he was going at it too. That snake was trying to strike him and he was nailing the snake too. And then I went inside and I grabbed one of my blades. And then I teed off all Conan on him. Yes, I did. You know, I went all Conan the Barbarian on him and chopped his head off like it was a movie. Now, and when I picked up him without a head, I'm almost 6 foot tall. He's longer than I was tall. So, you know, he was a little bit over 6 foot long and he was a copperhead. Now, here with snakes, you don't worry about rattlesnakes. A rattlesnake don't want to bother you. All the other snakes, they don't want to bother you. If you get bit, it's kind of an accident. Now, a copperhead will go out of his way to bite you. A copperhead will sneak up on you and bite you. they're a treacherous snake. Generally, I say snakes are a good thing, but a copperhead is treacherous. And all of those need annihilated on sight. Yeah, Brenda. I mean, like I say, we have multiple poisonous snakes here. But the only one you worry about is a copperhead. Now, we have your old-fashioned diamondback style rattlers here. More like what you would see in California. It's just, I think the ones in California can tend to get a little bit bigger. Opinion, I can't say for fact. But the rattlesnake's not to be worried about because he don't want to bother you. So, you'd only worry about them around brush piles. But, copperheads, they're evil. And tigers sure took care of them. And I have lost 2 pets to snakes. Yes, I have. The original Thor, Sissy's brother, he used to hunt, when I was living in the barn, he used to hunt rabbits. And he'd go down and get him a rabbit every day. But he also got snake bit. And I found him in the field dead. And that's what happened to him. And Corum, he got bit by a snake up here in the yard. Over by Verily Veronica's old trailer. He used to sit under it a lot. And he must have ran into one there and fought it. And under the trailer, I guess he couldn't jump and the snake got him. And that's Elric, Autumn, and Abaddon's father. So, I've lost 2 pets to snakes since I've lived here. And had that one encounter myself. And if Tiger hadn't started in on that snake, I would have got bit. Because, I was in this chair. And where I'm touching this rail, that's how close the fight was. I literally look around and in my face, Tiger and that copperhead are going at it. And I went, whoa! And like I said, I immediately went in and I grabbed a sword. And I hit that motherfucker so hard, I damaged my sword. I'll show you. The grip on it, I bent it. I was swinging for the fences. A ladybug on me. Though I don't think it was a lady. I think it was a boy. Brenda, I can't afford to eat most days. As it is now with everything going up, the dollar store has went up last month. And they went up again this month. And it has busted my budget. To where now, I'm going to have to get creative every month. I'm going to have, as I told you, I decided to start cutting my hamburger, and I make my chili into chili spaghetti, and I add rice to my taco meat. I'm going to have to find a few more cute things to keep me in eatings. Otherwise, I'm going to start to get kind of Eugenia Cooney at some point. But, I'm going to start harvesting out of the pond when I can. I've never even seen the $1.25 store. Nope. Now, I wonder what they're calling Dollar Tree now. Dollar's Tree. Oh, excuse me. Well, just when I get into Somerset, there is a Dollar Tree. Just when you get into Somerset, there's a Dollar Tree. Then there's another one over by Walmart. But, I'm sure that Leticia, I'm going to give you this conclusion, talk about Leticia, then I'm going to go ahead and get off here because that was the topic. But we got to digressing, and I do like to tell the snake story because, that was an adrenaline moment. And it was too. Brenda, they don't deliver here. That's why I had to have the P.O. box. And it's why I put the P.O. box where I did. If you try to send anything to me, they put a tag in the mailbox. And they say, you have 14 days here to get it or it gets sent back. I've not been able to get to that P.O. box in 5 months. Anything you try to send to this address is just going to send back to your house. And I don't want the doxers because I get threats on my life. And so no one's ever going to get my address that doesn't already have it. And anyone that shows up here that's not agreed to ahead of time, they get a one-way ticket to Jesus. They do not pass go, they do not collect $200, and then the local cops come and clean up the mess. Because I get several death threats from various factions, from the Pirate Callisto and Shannon camp, from the Melton John camp. And like I said, I cleared it with the locals and they say, do what you got to do and then call us. I went, fucking A. See, Melton thinks that I make police reports. You don't. Down here, you talk to them. And yeah, I mean, I've talked to my neighbors, and basically, all I have to do is scream, hey, Rube, and point at someone if I don't have a firearm on me at that moment, and they disappear. Yes, because after Melton John threatened to shoot up my neighbor's house, and he did too. Melton John even threatened, he's pulled out his gun on different live streams. It's a pathetic little gun, but yes, Melton John has threatened to shoot me, and they were doxing my address in chat yesterday. And anyone involved with that, I will go after you in real life. I will go after your family. I will go after everything about you. So Kitten Cat, you fucked up big time. Because you see, I'm the kind of guy that'll come and make your vehicle unhappy. I mean, I'm real good at making accidents. You know, when I was a criminal, you know those things that you go to bed at night and you question, am I a good person? I mean, well, you know what, I can do a whole lot of that too. Oh, I know, Brenda, but, you know, that's my situation right now. And I'm making it clear to any dumb animal that wants to try me, they will see Jesus. And if they want to get involved in my shit, they bet everything. Because you see, back when I was a criminal, if you crossed me, you bet everything. Everything you care about, everything you love. Now, generally, my therapist would say I had a certain amount of poetic justice about things, and I didn't go around doing a certain amount of evil per se. Now, it's not that I didn't go around doing evil, it's just I never did evil for evil's sake. I was always pushed in it, and I always gave warnings first. And if the dumb animal ignores those warnings, then we do things the B way. I don't like the B way. But I mean, the next person that threatens me and the one dumb motherfucker that shows up here, they're fucked. Now, there's a few people that do have invitations, but they would talk to me beforehand, and I would be expecting them, and I would probably on my iPhone, if they had an iPhone, you know, give them my position, you know, to make it a little bit easier for them. But, you know, other than a friend, you know, any of these people that think they're going to go up here and do anything, I mean, now it is funny, before I go, I'm going to drop a little bit of bomb. After all, it is kind of a drama-ish channel. Now, Carlos tried to, in Philip Greenwald's chat, I'm a serial killer and blah, 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 and I eat people, blah, 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 blah. But, I got an ant on me. But I had a funny moment. In that chat, because you see, Philip Greenwald deletes everything. And I knew he was going to delete that live. I actually typed how many people in my criminal career I knocked off. Yes, I did. And you know, I have to laugh, and my therapist knows all about it and understands that they were other bad men and there was a motivation. You know, it's like, for example, you don't tell me that you're going to kill me and not run the same risk. I mean, Brenda, it's still sitting in my P.O. box. For 5 months, I've been trying to get to that P.O. box and can't. So it's still sitting there for when I can get to it. And it will help me, because coming October again, I'll have to pay my taxes, as Elvis used to say. But you know, I have a saying, one disaster at a time. I don't bring that at YouTube, but I deal with one problem at a time. I get that dealt with and I move on. Where Leticia, when she has a problem, God will do for me. God, 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 God. And people, because she's the quote pregnant woman, if she wasn't pregnant, she wouldn't be getting all of these side grift monies. She'd be getting some, but not to keep her in the lifestyle she wants. There she won't. And once again, you know, I might get a few beads of sweat up here at the hottest of the day, but in reality, if I wanted to get out of the sun and not sweat, I'd just move 5 feet over there in the shade. But I'm about to go over there and get cleaned up and have a bath and wash my hair and brush my third of my teeth and have Richella help me, because I have a pet that loves me. I have many pets that love me, and they'll fight over me, and I'm not happy about that. And that's Richella in summer, by the way. So, you know, I'm going to shoot, you know, after I get cleaned up later, I'm going to, on my rest break, I'll watch a little YouTube, I'll think about a topic, and then I'm going to produce you guys a vid. And, I was supposed to have shot a vid for the Grimgoth channel on Saturday, but I was too busy getting some, so I'm going to shoot that video today too. And I'll probably do that one after dark because it's so hot. And, I mean, I'm out here living my best life. And all the rest of those little people like Shannon or Kit Kat or Coates or Leticia, they can live in the hell they made. And both Leticia and Coates are living in a vehicle. And Coates says, it's van life and I'm a nomad, rather than to say that my mother can't stand me because I'm a clean freak to the extreme with no vices and I'm always in happy little man. I'd ship him out to you. Well, yeah, the old boy one, he decided to come and attack my channel yesterday because Kit Kat is a coat simp. So Kit and Kat will never be on this channel again, and any sock account banned as hell. And when I mean ever again, I really do mean ever again. There are certain boy creators that have went over such a line that no. They'll never be here again. Well, there's many Kit Kats. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's a name that different people use on YouTube because they're shut-ins with no life. Just saying. Now, we might have a Boit Live sometime in the next day or two, and Boit Lives will always be set at 18 plus because there'll be nasty language said. Now, some of my serious Leticia lives, before I get out of here, I'm going to set those at 18 plus. And one of the reasons why we didn't talk about dark subjects is because I didn't set this one at 18 plus. But as Leticia gets a little further along in her quote pregnancy, we'll be having some 18 plus Leticia lives because we'll start talking about things that are very YouTube sensitive. But this morning today is basically, Leticia is talking about her life and my teeth. I would rather have a third of my teeth in a place to live in paradise than Leticia living in Hot Springs, Arkansas in the summer in her car. And you see, this has been the plan all along. And this is why she's mad, because she can't probably grift a home until Labor Day. It's going to get awful hot in the next 3 months, ain't it? But, my friends, I wouldn't be surprised if she has the baby sometime in August. Because if she went around and already missed a period, then the baby's due in August. So, that's what it's going to be with Leticia. And for the Boit crowd, I expect Rich Life will be back sometime soon. Just saying. I thought about this last night after the live. He can't afford to go anywhere. He's going to be stuck with next to an air conditioner because mommy pays that electric bill. So he's going to have nothing to do. So he'll be back. I expect him back because, thinking about it, he's been playing video games. And, he got him a new, because, Travels, dude, friend, you know what it was like when we were much younger and we got the new system? We burned it up for a while. My Xbox 360, that was the last time that happened. And, that was over 20 years ago. But Rich, he's going to enjoy that game system. But Travels, you know how the games are. I'm kind of getting tired of this same thing over and over. I'm kind of tired about the board. So, he's going to need to come back just to talk. Seriously. And yes, Rodney, that's exactly what he's going to do. And that's why I played a little bit of one of his last lives, because there's going to be new people, and a lot of them don't understand how Leticia gets away with saying what she does. And as an example, I'm going to go back and play old Rich Life clips. But because he got terminated for his false flagging, and then for pissing everyone the fuck off. That's what got him terminated. With me saying you might not ought to do that the entire way. And that's what got rid of Elvis. Well, we're going to have more, but once again, my advice for Rich is not to piss off Marcus. Marcus is a good guy generally. Like me, I would say myself, I'm a good guy generally. I put myself in that same mold. I'm capable of fuckery. But well, WB, you missed Elvis. We had Elvis Travels. Elvis Travels was our original grifter. And see, Elvis Travels taught us Leticia lessons years before we had a Leticia. Because a certain amount of people, oh, you were? Well, I feel sorry for you, damn it. I feel sorry for you, WB. I'd hoped you had missed Elvis for your own soul. But but the thing is with Rich Life, he could have apologized to Monkey Boy. And he wouldn't have never had to went to court. He could have talked to Hubs and Marcus. Because you can do that. And he could have fixed up everything but with me. But I never planned on being his friend. Now, if he and I were ever modding in the same place, I will be cordial. I will treat him just as I would anyone else in Coachism's chat. And just between us, that no doubt is going to freak him the fuck out. Just saying. Because, as Lisa Lynn says, he hates me most. And I'd like to know if he still hates me the most. But the only one that can answer that's Rich Life. Now everyone, take care, and you'll get probably videos on 2 different channels later. And then maybe late night, you'll get a Boyd Live depending on how tired I am. Now everyone, thank you for coming, and have a good night. Well, yeah, Travels Guy, he did for a while hate you the most, but, you know, someone's going to have to ask him. We need clarification. Now everyone, take care.